Happy holidays from the HLP crew. It's Haley, and I am here to remind you real quick that if you are interested in listening to the Linked Legacy podcast on our Patreon feed, episode 7 of the Carnival of Tears module is being released on next Tuesday. So, if you've wanted to join and catch up, you now have 7 episodes you can catch up on if you join at our $5 tier. That's all I have for this week. This is a really, really fun episode. It was fun to play. It was fun to edit. Hope you guys enjoy one of potentially the wackiest episodes we have. Welcome to episode 124, Cold Iron Chef.
Like liquor and things that go boo? Then buckle up, listener, because this one's for you. Prepare yourself for the Hideous Laughter Podcast.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Hideous Laughter Podcast, episode 124. And guys, we're cooking. Now we're really cooking this episode. Did you ever think, when you played Pathfinder for almost 2.5 years, that you'd be level 9 in a cooking contest?
Well,
in Abaddon?
Well, a few episodes ago, we were concerned that we had jumped the shark. And I think this just goes to show that we certainly have not.
Our best years are ahead of us.
That's right.
It would be a shame to, ride that Paizo Sponsi over a cliff. Don't worry, we're going to get to book 4 eventually.
Never seen one of our partners just take a nosedive like you guys did.
Well, before we figure out what the daemons are going to be eating, I need to know what you guys are drinking. Emily, what you got?
I have some red wine this evening. It's perfect for a winter night like tonight.
Good pairing with mushroom soup.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this wine goes well with our dish and really helps me be the best cook I can be.
Well, speaking of being the best cook you could be, hey Haley.
Hey.
What you drinking?
Oh, I have dessert covered today. I have banana pudding sipping cream moonshine.
All right. Well, speaking of someone that's always sipping cream, hey Steve.
You know me.
What you drinking?
I am drinking a new beer from Wolf's Ridge Brewing. Brooks turned me on to this one. It's called Abominable Haze. And I'll tell you what, guys. They done did it again. Because this beer is fucking lit. It is a double dry hopped white IPA. The profile is soft, juicy, and stone fruit. All right. But it's fucking great. It's so good.
Okay. Speaking of so good, I got something that's blowing my mind right now. I'm drinking it straight. It's cucumber mojito moonshine. And it's pretty wild. It tastes great. Oh, I have a whole mug of it. And our Patreon beverage recipient of the night, Brooks, what do you have over there, buddy?
Let me taste it. There are, it's quite bold. Notes of Jim Beam, lemon juice, some Aperol, and some later hints of peach schnapps.
What's it called?
I have no idea.
It's called a paper plane, and it was suggested by Little Pink Fox.
I think we need to get Brooks a new sippy cup because that's going on over 2 years old now.
No, it popped back into shape.
Yeah.
That thing is leaching plastic into his brain. Did you listen to him read off the ingredients of that?
I think he did a
Seemed
great
pretty
job.
accurate to me.
But also, this thing has, popped out of shape and into shape a couple times, and it's miraculous. I don't know how. The dishwasher melted it at least once. It came back. It stopped being melted. this thing, I don't know if you can get rid of this.
It's a real chumbawamba of sippy cups.
I should really go back on my Amazon purchase and review this because
2 years strong.
Going strong. Regularly melts.
Regularly melts.
And comes back somehow.
Drinks taste different after it melts for a couple weeks.
so durable.
That is.
Durable. Gets you high.
Great for a growing child.
Yes, I am not positive of the BPAs that I've ingested.
Oh boy. Well, on that note, we're going to see how many BPAs you're going to make the Daemons ingest in this episode. Because when last we met our heroes, they headed to the Shrine of the Moon and met a dragon known as Jimbirium the Loud, who they were able to entertain and who decided to join them on their quest. They made it through the rest of the maze and were teleported to an area, a staging area with 7 other teams, and were notified that they would be competing in a contest called Cold Iron Chef. And so that's where we find ourselves.
I'm so hyped.
So guys, before we get into the role play of this, I'm going to be running what's called a skills challenge. And yeah, I mean, Steve's giving me the side eye because he knows he has skills.
It's true.
So what a skills challenge is that there will be a predetermined number of rounds. They're not like combat rounds. They last a separate amount of time. In this case, there will be 10 rounds, and they each are 10 minutes long. So you will have 100 minutes to prepare your meal in all aspects. The way this works is there will be a primary skill or two associated with each kind of step in the cooking process. There will also be an opportunity for all of you to petition to me how you might use a different skill. That would be called a secondary skill. Do you guys remember when we fought the library? It's going to be relatively similar to that. Each stage in your cooking process, so your gathering of ingredients, your prepping of all of the ingredients, mixing them together correctly, cooking them for the appropriate amount of time, and your presentation. Each of those stages of the cooking process are going to have a certain amount of HP. Your success on skills checks will allow you to roll dice against the HP of these challenges. If you either have 10 ranks in the associated skill or 5 ranks and it is a class skill, you'll be rolling a d12. If you have 5 ranks or it is a class skill, you'll be rolling a d8. And if you have less than 5 ranks and it is not a class skill, you'll be rolling a d4. These are all plus your ability modifier for that skill. So if the skill is acrobatics, you would be rolling it plus your dex. There's another thing to note, though. If you're rolling the primary skill, so one of several skills that I'll give you that are applicable to the whatever stage of the cooking process you're in, you'll be rolling those dice as stated. If you're rolling a secondary skill, so you're trying to convince me that another skill could be applicable there, if I say yes, yeah, go ahead, you roll 1 die step lower. So if you would be rolling a d12, you'll roll a d10. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do just want to point out, Griff, I don't know if this means anything to you or not, but none of us can possibly have more than 9 ranks.
I'm aware. That's why
Okay.
it's either 10 ranks or 5 ranks and you're trained in the skill. The only way you would be rolling the 12 is if you had 5 ranks in the skill at least, and it was also a class skill for you.
Okay.
Which I know applies to some of you. Like Matumbe has 5 ranks in damn near every skill.
A few of them.
Yeah. So we'll roll initiative. Everybody will have a turn to perform something that would be applicable here. What I will tell you is that I'm going to tell you when you've succeeded at a step of the journey. So for the gathering the right ingredients and that kind of stuff, I'm going to tell you when you've beaten the HP of that to let you know that, hey, you could right now move on in the next round of this, because we all know there are only 10 rounds. But you can stay on a step. So say you wanted to cook something extra well, you could stay on the cooking process even beyond when I say it's done. Any extra damage you deal will go towards a point total at the end, which will be important. So if you overkill any step of this, is what I'm saying, it's still worthwhile. So if you wanted to prep the food really well and wanted, Air Bear to spend another round chopping the onions or whatever, you could do that. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay. Well,
I have one additional question.
sure.
The performance checks that we were making earlier, do those come into play at all? Like how well the crowd is perceiving us?
So right now, you're not in combat. I believe the crowd was friendly towards you at the end of, I think so, at the end of episode 123. So you'll get a +1. You won't be making performance checks. You're not in combat.
Perfect. Thank you.
The other thing I do want to note is if you have applicable spells, you could lobby using one of those. So an example I'll give is if you're prepping the food and you want an extra set of hands and you cast Unseen Servant, I would allow you to deal damage because that's a great use of that spell. So if you can lobby a spell's use to, like if you wanted to use haste to make everybody more effective in the kitchen, I'd either allow that as like an aid to somebody else's role or a potentially a role of your own.
Can we sabotage other teams?
Great question.
For these purposes, it'll be, unless you can do it subtly, it's going to be looked on as cheating, just like the healing and that kind of stuff. So the crowd you'll probably lose the crowd's favor.
Damn it.
All right. With that, Lopsock kicks off the Cold Iron Chef. Everybody, I want a nice clean surfaces, because obviously I don't want to eat anything with germs on it, but also a nice clean bout here. We have 8 teams, and I need all of you to do your best to prepare what your demonic patron's favorite dish is. We will have a judge at the end of ceremonies to determine whether you've done a successful job and your meal is even worth eating. We have several ingredients from all over the world that you could utilize to spice up your dishes, but the cooking is up to you. And he walks over to Little Bell, dings the bell, and I need everybody to roll for initiative.
All right. Let's do this.
Here comes some very intense music.
Some Cold Iron Chef music.
That's correct.
Freya, what you got?
23.
Air Bear.
11.
Matumbe.
I'm going to go ahead and guess Air Bear beats my 11 tied.
Okay, Tulia.
24.
Okay. The first stage of the Iron Chef tournament is to gather your ingredients. The important aspects of gathering ingredients are going to be your speed, getting to the table with all of the ingredients before everybody else, as well as your knowledge of ingredient pairings. And so the primary skills for this are going to be acrobatics, athletics, knowledge nature, and craft alchemy, as well as profession chef, but I don't think any of you have that. Profession chef will always be an option.
I also think athletics is a Starfinder thing.
Oh, you're right.
Griff, do we... earlier in this tournament, obviously not part of this cooking competition, when you threw out those, we needed to cover certain bases, like I had to do craft alchemy because nobody else had it, like that kind of stuff. Is this an opportunity where we have to diversify, or if we're all good at the same thing, we can all kind of roll the same thing?
You don't have to diversify here. The DC might be different for different skills, but
Okay.
you don't have to diversify. If you beat the DC, you will be able to roll against the health of the tournament leg. If you want to use another skill, again, just lobby as to why that would be a solid option, and I'll consider it and maybe allow it.
And because I just asked something and immediately erased all the information in my brain, the skills were acrobatics, craft alchemy, and what else?
Knowledge nature.
I'm doing that one.
I'm pretty good at acrobatics.
I would like to petition for a bonus check to as a secondary role. So since part of this is the knowledge of pairing ingredients together, I would like to use a heal check to be able to pick some herbs that will give you like a nice warm wholesome feeling so that you feel better after eating it, not just because the food tastes good, but it also is wholesome for your body.
Absolutely, that's very Food Wars of you.
Genius.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Perfect, I love it. Yes, you can use that. Any other petitioners or anybody want to use a spell instead of a check?
I'd like to use a combination spell and check.
Okay, it's one or the other.
Well, I more meant I want to be able to get there faster than everybody.
Okay, what would you like to do?
So I have dimensional slide, just like at will. So I can just step through and reach another location. It's part of a move action, so I can move up to 10 feet per level, so I can move, and it only counts as 5 feet of movement. So I could literally dimension slide, grab all the ingredients, and then run back.
Okay, I will let you use the dimension slide as almost like an aiding yourself
Okay,
on your roll.
cool.
I'm going to go ahead and do the knowledge nature. So Matumbe is going to be... I don't think Matumbe is going to be grabbing ingredients. He's going to be looking over his friend's shoulders. Obviously, Tulia's going to fucking whip him to get there. She's going to be there and back before he could even get there. So he's just going to be like shouting and pointing. We need to get this, and he's listening to what Freya has to say. And, a little higher, a little lower. Like, kind of, if she's shouting something out, he's going to try to identify it and point it out for his companions with that knowledge nature.
Sure.
I would definitely activate my boots as well.
Okay, I'll let you utilize the boots of haste as a +2 to getting there.
Awesome. And so I guess with acrobatics, there's got to be a more direct route to the ingredient station. And so you got to jump over other tables and competitors.
Hear me out. I think Air Bear is going to have a stack taller than his head of stuff that he's going to be able to carry. Meanwhile, Tulia can get there fast, but only carry like 3 things.
Well, I imagine the acrobatics is like, not only does he get there first, but as somebody from the other team is grabbing something that looks particularly useful to him, he's like sneaking it out, like grabbing it away from them.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, why don't can I get those rolls?
Yeah. Do we have to go in initiative order?
Yes, so first in the order is Tulia.
Okay. So I'm going to do a knowledge nature so that when I get over there, I know what to pick up.
Sure.
Okay. 10 on the die, and I don't have 5 ranks in it. I only have 2.
Okay.
So that's going to be, but that's going to be a 23 plus 2 bonus because I'm getting there so fast, plus friendly. That'll put me up to a 26.
The 26 does beat the DC because you don't have 5 ranks in it. Is it a class skill for you?
It is class skill.
So you'll be rolling a D8 plus intelligence.
A D8 plus intelligence. All right, let's see how I do. Well, my intelligence is really good. But I rolled a 2, so that's 10 points.
Okay. Next in the order is Freya.
She's eyeing up those healing herbs. Only a 17. And this is a class skill, but she does not have 5 ranks.
A 17 total on the heal check.
Yes.
Okay. You're kind of giving ideas to Matumbe, but they're wishy-washy at best. You're having trouble finding stuff that You think maybe because these meals are for daemons, you're not finding a bunch of stuff that traditionally would make you warm in the tum tum. So unfortunately, you do not get to roll. Next in the order is Air Bear.
All right, acrobatics is definitely a skill, class skill, and I do have 5 ranks.
Okay. You've aided yourself with the haste boots.
So this is 12 on the die for a 23, without any other modifications. 2 would make it a 25 from the hasted boots, and 5 class skilled ranks.
Okay, so with a
he's got-
25,
You actually have a 26 because the crowd is friendly.
with the
Oh,
26,
yep, that's what it is.
you do get to roll. If you have 5 ranks and it is a class skill for you, then you get to roll a d12 plus your dexterity bonus.
All right, 5 on the die goes up to 11.
Okay. Matumbe.
So Freya tells him about these ingredients, and he's like, I don't know about that. I have much practical experience around the campfire, and I do not think those combinations make me feel good in my stomach. So he's going to look for some other alternative ingredients, and I got a 31 on my knowledge nature check, so that passes, knowing Tulia passed with a
That
slightly
passes.
lower. This is a skill that is a class skill of mine, because we're going to be hard-pressed to find one that's not, but I don't have 5 ranks in it, so this will just be a d8 plus my intelligence.
Okay.
Okay, it's going to be 11 points of damage against this round.
Well, y'all, I got the butter, garlic, and the sherry. What y'all got?
For mushroom soup?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it needs to be a
Y'all
good
don't know how
broth.
to make it. Yeah, broth, cream, onions, herbs.
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 All
Yeah,
right.
Matumbe gave it the herbs. So I will tell you that in this first round, you came out swinging. You were the first to the table. You got some of the best ingredients you possibly could. You knocked the gather ingredients stage out of the park. So it's been 10 minutes. You've gone back and forth to the table, dodging and diving through other combatants, sifting through ingredients, studying ingredients, figuring out the best combinations, and now you're on to the prep work. Unless you would like to continue gathering ingredients, which, as I said, you can keep doing a stage to kind of rack up extra points, but that might hurt you later if some of the stages take longer.
Are we able to come back and get finishing touches if something else goes better, like some decorative ingredients later?
Yep. So if you want to spend your turn going back to the gathering well, you could.
But later.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
So, is this also going to be true to Iron Chef, where they will have a mystery ingredient or equipment
Yes.
midway?
So after the gathering phase, the prep phase is where the secret ingredient is unveiled.
Oh, God.
That secret ingredient is starfruit.
Well, that pairs poorly with the dish we're planning to prep.
I got this.
So for stage 2, the prep stage, you are this is the stage where you're really trying to figure out how you're going to put your recipe together, and you're also preparing the ingredients to be used. So this is either going to be the primary skills are going to be sleight of hand or craft alchemy or profession cook. That's it. Anything else you're going to have to petition to use. Tulia,
So when do we find out about this surprise ingredient? We've already done it?
like at the start of this turn. So it gets unveiled after you've gathered all of your other ingredients.
So does it need to be in the soup?
It does need to be included in your dish.
Do we get to pick it out?
It's like unveiled at each
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
each station. It was already there.
It's fine. I'm just trying to figure out what I can do here. All right, hear me out. What about if I use either knowledge planes or nobility to know more, to rack my brain and think back to all the years I've spent with Lapsa and figure out if he would prefer the starfruit be hidden and less sweet, or a more prominent feature? Or I could go with a different type of knowledge local, maybe? I don't know.
Knowledge local, I would give you to know the flavor of star fruit and how it would be prepared in the areas in which it is normally grown.
Okay, so that would work as my thing?
Yep.
All right. Let me double check, make sure I don't have anything else interesting. I certainly don't. All right. So knowledge local it is. I only got 19.
A 19, you're racking your brain, but you've been in Abaddon so long, you can't even think of where starfruit's from, really.
Okay.
Freya, you're up next.
I would potentially like to use an ability.
Okay.
So Freya has a bit of luck with her being a channeler of the unknown. The only issue I see with it is it only gives you a benefit for the next round when you roll. So I don't know if that works. Like if there's a crucial moment in the 10 minutes, if Freya could, have her be guiding and just give a little extra luck as this star fruit is being prepared to turn the tides.
I'll say if you want to use all of your bit of lucks, I'll give you a bonus for this round.
Ooh.
But yes, it is 10 minutes, so generally for this kind of thing, you're going to need a spell that lasts as long as the round. So something like a guidance is not going to really be useful either.
I don't really have anything else I can do, so I'll do that. So Air Bear will get to roll twice and take the more favorable result.
Okay, so you utilize all your kind of helping Air Bear prep the ingredients that you have, and whenever he looks like he's gonna slip with the knife, you kind of pop him on the back. Okay, so it is Air Bear's turn. You get 2 rolls because of the bit of luck.
Yeah, so the sleight of hand is really going to work out in my favor here because it is a class skill. I've got 2 ranks, and those onions need chopping. The celery needs chopping. Herbs, fine, extremely fine. Yeah, he's gonna slice and dice away.
All right, let's get those 2 rolls.
And thank you very much, Freya, because one of them is a natural 20.
Ooh!
So with a natural 20 in this system, you do actually double your roll against the health of the round. So
Awesome.
So go ahead and give me. You said you are trained. So
I am.
It's a class skill for you. Right?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So if it's a class skill for you, you don't have 5 ranks in it, so you'll be rolling a d8 plus your dexterity. And it'll be 2d8 plus 2 times your dex mod, because you crit. I guess that's another important thing to call out. Unlike regular skill checks, a 20 always succeeds in this skill challenge, and a 1 always fails.
Cool.
Well, thank goodness I have my dex bonus on there because this is going to be 14.
Wow.
Okay.
I did that 16.
16.
Sorry.
Okay. Matumbe.
Before you slice into these fruits, let me take a look. I'm just going to straight up steal Haley's idea and use that knowledge local, if I'm allowed to do that, see where it's from and what I can do with it. All right. That will be above 30.
Okay.
32.
That's a success. So
I have 5 ranks in it, and it is a class skill, so it would be a D12, but it is a secondary skill, so D10.
it'll be a D10
Okay.
plus your intelligence.
So he's taking a look at the fruit, and he says, thin, waxy pericarp. Kind of an orangish-yellow hue. I imagine if I sliced this, I would find crisp yellow flesh with juice when it is ripe. I believe these are usually grown in either Tianjia, but some find their way down to the shackles, and you're usually about 5 to 15 centimeters in length. This one appears to be on the larger side, so it might be a little sweeter. And so I'm going to go ahead and roll that.
All right, Encyclopedia Clown.
All right, I looked it up on Wikipedia, but that's going to be minimum damage there with an 8.
8.
Oh.
That's genius, Matumbe. Did you learn that from watching Marsha Brubart? She known for some specialty soups, although she was in solitary for a while. She's, night hags are like that.
Now, I have not scryed on this woman. However, I have read one of her tomes. And yes, that is where I got the recipe from.
Brilliant.
All right, at the end of this turn, you feel that you have successfully prepped all of the ingredients. Next would be mixing them in the appropriate way. So you've kind of started to figure out your recipe strategy, and the fruits and mushrooms and all of the liquids are measured out properly. Now you got to figure out how you're going to combine them. For the mixing stage, unless you would like to continue prepping, I am going to say that the primary skills will either be a knowledge local or a perception. Perception being you're looking for maybe the right color as you mix the things together, the right aromas. You're really kind of getting up close to it, and then local for traditional cooking techniques that you might utilize for making a mushroom soup. Tulia.
All right, so I would like to use a spell to aid me.
Okay.
So I think I would want to do perception, and in combination with that, I would want to use my mage hand so that we are perfectly stirring at the exact same consistency that we need for each step.
Okay.
More consistent than a human hand is what I'm thinking.
Sure. Yeah, I like that.
All right, so I will use perception, and then I can get a +2 from mage hand. Does that work? All right. Let's try this out. 23.
23. Is that with the aid?
Yeah.
You think that the mage hand is doing its job. It's everything is very consistent. However, you can't really gauge the correct quantity to add with your perception. Maybe the constant stirring that's not from you is actually getting in your way. Freya.
Freya's gonna take the ingredients and smell them and try to pick the ingredients that are cut well, are giving off a good aroma, and are gonna be a good addition to this dish. So she's gonna use her perception.
Okay.
And that is a 27.
27, you are able to pick out the choicest of the ingredients and add them in the right order, mix them up to create a fine, deep brown that you think will start to smell very aromatic once it starts cooking. Is perception a class skill for you?
It is not, but I do have more than 5 ranks.
Okay, so you'll get a D8 plus your wisdom.
As Freya's picking these up, she's muttering to herself, "A recipe is just in a book. We must give this dish soul." As she's picking out all of her ingredients. 13.
Very good. Bear.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of a way that I can use this certain ability that I have. It is a hand that I can. Well, here.
Is it similar to Mage Hand?
Yes, it will be very similar to. It'll be similar.
Yeah, you could use it to like multitask
Yeah, I think you
if you wanted to.
Is it literally possessed hand, the ability? Okay.
Literally, and the thing about it, though, with hand's detachment, it could also be in 2 places at once to do 2 different stirrings.
Or it could be adding the ingredients as Freya says them.
Yeah,
at
like
the exact
points.
right time.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I will certainly allow that ability to aid yourself, basically allowing yourself to be in 2 places at once. What the rest of the party sees is and Matumbe's been suspicious for a little while about what's going on with Air Bear's arms. One of his hands completely detaches from his wrist and crawls across the counter.
Excuse me?
That's
Up.
amazing.
Freya's armor, taps her on the shoulder, and kind of signals at her to tell it what to do. Air Bear is turned off in the other direction, gathering other ingredients.
Yep. The hand wrap is dangling by his side. It quickly wraps it up his arm so that it's not dragging in food. Probably starting on fire with the range.
Employees must wash hands, Brooks. Especially you.
It can wash itself.
I like to keep dirty bandages by my food too.
Julia sees this. She's not suspicious at all. She has none of this background. She says, well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit. That is cool. Is that a magical item? We gotta talk about this after that. I bet you Lala lean. She ain't that lean, but she loves that butter. I bet she would love an extra hand like this to throw more butter in.
There was someone that we met, and she gave me this as a bit of a gift.
We should talk right after this and figure out how to do this. This is a cool item. Everyone should have this.
So
I
what?
would not recommend it.
So what is Air Bear's role? What skill?
Well, if he's able to stir and get the timing right of everything, being in two places at once, he would definitely be rolling perception on that.
Okay.
I have more than 5 ranks, but there's not a class skill.
Okay.
But I don't think it'll pass with... I guess, how much was the hands detachment bonus?
It's just a +2, like
2?
an 8. Yeah. And then you have a +1 from the crowd.
Yeah, 18,
18.
unfortunately.
The hand's doing a great job. The hand is following all the directions, but you're kind of in the too many cooks in the kitchen state. You're
yeah.
looking for stuff to add to this dish. Freya's doing a really good job just adding things in at the right time, and you're kind of lost.
I'm looking back at the hand, making sure that it's doing its job.
Yeah, I mean,
but
this
I'm
is the
not
first
doing
time
mine.
it's detached off your wrist, so you're probably like checking up on it a little too much.
Yep.
With the bonus and the hand helping her, Freya is a little bit startled at first, but just goes with it because she's seen so much from this party. And she looks over to Air Bear while he's trying to do his tasks, and maybe this disrupts him a little bit. Normally I'd say keep your hands to yourself, but this one's kind of helping.
This hand's a real go-getter.
It seems to be acting on its own. So whatever you wish, go ahead. It will help you.
Weird.
Matumbe.
All right, cool. So Matumbe is, for the record, my perception would be a higher, but we don't have a knowledge local on the board yet, and I think that's important to get out there. I don't know why, but I think it's important to get. So he's going to say, when mixing our ingredients, we need to be very mindful. How many daemons here have you seen that are not skin and bones? They crave calories. We must make this as creamy as possible. Okay, that is going to be 34.
34 does it.
Nice.
Sweet. And with 5 ranks and a class skill, that's going to be a 12er.
That is a 12.
Ooh.
Okay, we're looking at 16 points of damage against this stage.
Okay, you guys feel like you've appropriately mixed the ingredients together, but now comes the difficult part. You gotta cook it. You gotta cook it well. And you're seeing the contraption here is a little higher tech than anything you've probably utilized to cook. The cooking checks are going to be, the skills will be knowledge engineering, spellcraft, and perception. The knowledge engineering to actually work the device and figure out how to utilize your lava core. The spellcraft to actually keep the lava core at a stable temperature. And the perception to keep an eye on the food and make sure it's cooking well and smells right and isn't burning, etc. Does that work? All right, Tulia is at the top of the round.
All right. Tulia knows spellcraft so well. So that is 100% what she's going to use to get this going. This is both a class skill. I've got 9 ranks in it. I'm rolling this at a plus 21 with the crowd help.
Awesome.
31.
31, yeah, so you're laser focused on the lava core. You get it from this magical lantern into this adamantine contraption that you guys are utilizing as an oven/stove. And you're able with that spellcraft to figure out how to magically maneuver it over, probably with like a mage hand, and able to watch the pulses in heat and energy that the core is putting off and calculate it down to a relatively stable rhythm where you can kind of direct everyone else to take it off the heat for a minute, take it off the heat okay, put it back on. So that's what you're doing this time. Go ahead and roll me a d12 plus your intelligence.
Okay. 20.
Woo!
I rolled max.
Okay. Freya.
Freya is going to use her perception again, and she's going to really keep her eagle eyes on the food and making sure it's reaching a nice level of brown. It's bubbling well without getting too rapid. Nothing's getting stuck on the edges and burning, like getting good, even distribution of heat so that it's cooking well. That's 31.
31. That is good enough. You're able to watch the pot, and even though they say a watch pot never boils, this does begin to. Go ahead and give me, is that a d12 for you?
It is not a class skill, but
Okay.
I do have more than 5 ranks, so that's a d8.
Yep,
correct?
that'll be a d8 plus your wisdom.
That is 12 points of damage.
Awesome. Air Bear.
I have knowledge engineering, but I don't want to use it because I have so few points in it. I am just positive it won't pass.
Perception's probably pretty good for you. I'm sure Matumbe has the engineering on lock.
Yeah, I figured that as well. I could do perception.
Or you could petition to use something else.
Or go back to an earlier stage too. Like, we're doing well.
Right. And that's kind of where I'm thinking I could go back. Like, if we needed to find another ingredient with acrobatics, that is something that I can actually benefit, or I can actually do well. Kind of.
Sure.
While Tulia is messing with the lava core, she turns to Air Bear as he's looking for what to do next and how he can help. She goes, like Avril Lagrange always says, let's take it up a notch. Get yourself another ingredient. We need it. Something special. Emerald Lagrange. You look confused, Stu.
Okay. I was a little confused. It makes sense now.
So yeah, is something's missing here. It's not just this thing. Something to soak it with. A bread. So I would like to go back to a previous step and gather some nice crispy, herby, dense bread.
Sure.
The mat Air Bear was standing on was folded and he trips immediately.
Oh boy.
That's
Natural one?
Yeah, that's a 1.
All right.
Even the boots can't help with that if you're not standing.
Yep. All right,
This is bad.
Satumbe, bring us home.
All right. So again, this is a situation where a perception might be a better check for me, but I'm going to roll that knowledge engineering because if for nothing, I think it's thematically important that we make sure we're able to regulate the temperature with the technology that we have. So he's just going to kind of be absent-mindedly speaking. You know, Freya, the dwarves are very wise. They know how to regulate things. I think back to your ancestors, the dwarves of the mines, the dwarves of the forges. They could craft the most wonderful weapons by very carefully controlling the air and very carefully controlling the temperature in their bellows. We must channel their graciousness now. All right, it's gonna be a 23. Whoa, that's incorrect. 33. Definitely left a tenor off
I was
there.
going to say, surprisingly enough, for the engineering, a 23 would have done it.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I do make it. This, again, is a skill that is a class skill for me, but I only have 3 ranks in it, so this will be a D10.
What disappointment.
I know.
Oh, wait,
I
it's a
know.
class skill, but you only have 3 ranks in
That's
it?
a D8.
That's a D8.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. I got confused with the secondary. I shouldn't be doing that. All right, 10 points of damage against it.
All right. You were well on your way cooking, but you think that it's not quite done. 10 minutes wasn't enough to cook the meal. You may use any of the aforementioned checks, and you may also use disguise this round as you attempt to blend the star fruit into the mix. Tulia.
Tulia is gonna stick to the lava core. She knows her shit.
Okay.
She's ready for that. And I think that she would do really well at controlling that and continuing to control it. I don't think that I need to do much else. I don't think that there is much else I can do, but I would be ready at the hand if it does start to get too hot. Since I think we're going for low and slow with a cream soup, you can't boil the cream and curl it, right? She would have her ray of frost ready to go in case she needs to cool something down for a minute.
Okay.
Could that give me a bonus?
No.
Damn it. Oh, it's fine. I didn't need it. 39.
Yep.
Great. And that is a class skill with 9 ranks, so it's a solid D12. Nice. 17.
Okay. Freya.
Freya could keep watching the pot to make sure it doesn't get too hot, but if it would not be considered cheating, could she try to disguise or maybe aid Airbear if he wants to try to disguise? I don't know if he has a lot of ranks in that. Okay, never mind. Freya could use obscuring mist to make it appear like there's a lot of steam around us, so it gives concealment for throwing in some of the star fruit to disguise the addition of adding it. If that use would be clearly seen as cheating by the daemon, she wouldn't want to do that. I feel like she'd get kind of a feel on how the crowd is reacting.
I think you could roll a bluff to make that obscuring mist seem like a flare up in the kitchen type of thing.
This is a show after all.
Yeah. If you do that bluff, I'll give Airbear advantage on the disguise as well as allow that to be a D12 roll.
My reservation is I only have a +3 to my bluff. So against a large crowd, I don't think I have much of a chance unless
Well, they're watching like 20 or 32 people because, there's 8 groups cooking, so might be a little easier. Their attention's kind of split.
From Freya's knowledge of these creatures, are they able to inflict disease? Because she got a lot of disease from this plane.
The daemons?
The daemons.
Yeah.
Should actually get a bonus against them.
Excuse me?
Well,
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Because misery loves company. So Freya is able to influence creatures able to inflict disease or those that are suffering from disease because she knows what it's like.
Corruption coming up big.
Unbelievable.
Who knew
I
that
love
OP
it.
power would come into play?
Twice in one episode.
All right, I'm going to give it a try just so I can use my miserable company gift. HLP on the die. Woo! All right. So, natural 20, that goes up to a 26.
I love it. Roll me a d12.
Woo woo.
Because that would have crit, so it's helping Air Bear, and I think it deserves some damage.
11.
All right.
Really sneakily adding in the star fruit. It's as someone is adding, and Tulia is kind of monitoring the temperature, making sure it's good. If there's like a few extra bubbles that come up, Frey will kind of cast it right from the pot, so the mist just kind of pours out.
All right. Air Bear, am I led to believe that you will be utilizing this diversion to disguise some star fruit in there?
Yes. We mentioned onions earlier. Yellow or the sweet onions would be a perfect spot to add just a little bit of the juice from the star fruit, adding to the onions natural sweetness, but while also giving it a bit of an exotic taste as well, without entirely overpowering the earthy naturalness of the mushrooms.
All right.
I gotta admit, I had no idea where you're going with it, but you pulled it around.
Yeah, you stuck the landing.
You did.
Absolutely.
So this,
I enjoy
this
cooking.
receives the aid.
So without your aid, I have a 22. So 2 to aid.
And the one.
That's already been added in.
It's still a success, and as I said before, you may roll a d12.
Heck yeah. Terrible damage. Adding our... Well, that doesn't have a modifier. Class modifier, does it?
It's just your ability modifier, so it would be your charisma.
Oh. That's probably why it's not added, because it's a 0.
Okay.
For 2.
2 points of damage.
Oh boy.
Ugh.
All right, Matumbe.
All right, so because this is very Food Wars-esque, the smoke goes, or like the steam comes up, this obscuring mist, and then Matumbe uses his perception, and he sees that Air Bear is about to squeeze some star fruit on top of these onions, and everything freezes, and it's this tight frame as he turns to the camera, and there's like that shaky behind an anime character while he's thinking to himself mid-battle thing going on in the background. If he adds too much fruit, it will overpower the mushrooms. And like he does that like anime character thinking to himself that's like 5 minutes of exposition that clearly takes place like within half a second as he's about to come in there. Perception, that is going to go up to a 33 again.
That'll do it.
Okay. And he reaches, Air Bear, not too much star fruit. I see what you are trying to do. It is a good move. But he devolves into the like anime nonsense. All right, so this is over 5 ranks in there, and it is a class scale for me.
Okay.
D12 action. Okay. 14 points of damage.
Okay, so at the 60-minute mark, Lopsock steps up to the stage. Well, we're seeing quite a bit of disturbances in the kitchen, it seems. I think that one's my meal. I'm a little bit worried. Contestants, we are at the halfway point. If you don't have your food in the oven by now, you're probably in trouble. By the HP thresholds, you are not finished cooking yet. But this might be an opportunity for you. You still have 5 rounds, so this might be an opportunity for some folks to branch out into some of the other activities, do that kind of thing as well. We'll start with Tulia.
All right, here's the thing. If we're still cooking, Tulia's got to be on that lava core. But she's going to take it up a notch. She's going to slightly adjust her glasses. And this is wild, so Griffin, you might not agree with this. But I'm under the effects of constant death watch. Can I get a feel for how close to done the soup is?
Absolutely not.
God damn it!
Roll with disadvantage.
No! It was worth a
For even
shot.
suggesting that.
You told me to be creative. I am.
That's like...
Gonna roll up a Slayer so I know what hit points the.
Not looking for what hit points, but
I need the hit points of the mushrooms in there. They almost
give me a
dead.
benefit. Anyways, it's fine. I'll use regular spellcraft.
I mean, for the record, I am absolutely in love with that. I think it's hilarious.
Thank you. 35.
35. Go ahead and roll me that D12.
All right. 18. These glasses just keep fogging up. I can't get a good read.
Freya. This time we're not, no deception, but the other ones still apply. You've gotten the star fruit in there.
Now that the star fruit has been added, Freya turns her attention again to watching the soup, and this time she's going to watch the edges of the container to make sure there's nothing fouling and stopping a good heat transfer from happening from our lava core. So she's going to use perception.
Okay.
24?
Are you adding the crowd?
Yeah, that's with the crowd.
Doesn't quite cut the mustard.
Darn it.
Or bear.
He has not forgotten about the bread. So
He
he's
spent 10 minutes last round tripping on a mat. He spent all 10 minutes tripping on a mat.
Not last round, but the round before
Yeah,
that.
round before that.
Last round, he recovered
He
and was like,
tripped.
oh shit, I have to do something about this star fruit.
Brooks, you're
Hit his head, completely forgot about the crusty.
no.
you're pretty close to getting a spit take from Emily on that one.
He never forgot about the bread. It was just what was really important at the time was the getting it in the onions at the right time.
Okay. So he's gonna go back. He's gonna go back to square one, the gather stage, and try and get some crostini to go with the cream of mushroom soup.
Much better roll. That is going to be 26.
26. That is enough. Go ahead and roll me. Is it a D12 for you for the acrobatics?
Should be a D10. 5 ranks.
Yeah.
5 ranks. Is it a class skill?
So I'm looking at it right now. It's a no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I said yes last time, which fuck me.
So it'll be a D8.
Wow. Better than my roll for the D12. So that is going to be 6 from the die, 6 from the modifier, 12 total.
Matumbe.
All right, so a lot of times when you're playing Pathfinder, I feel like a perception check is just I walk into a room, what do I see? And sometimes it can be, what do I hear? But people don't talk about how perception can also be used for taste. So Matumbe is going to grab a little spoon off the side, just get a little bit of that soup, and just see how close to done it is.
This is actually the second time in this arc we've talked about perception as taste.
Yep, it is.
Good.
We cover all the senses.
That's right.
You also dip your finger in to see how hot it is.
Competitor
Use that
podcasts
touch.
don't understand how versatile a perception check can be. I don't think I'm going to break. I actually might. I think that's coming out to a dirty 30.
Dirty 30. Yes,
Yeah.
that's going to be a roll.
Ooh.
Sweet. Okay. Little low for my damage die there, but that's 10. We'll take it.
Okay. At the end of this round, and probably with Matumbe's seal of approval, you feel like it's pretty well cooked.
All right.
But now comes the part where you add a bit of spice, a bit of panache. The plating. And for the plating, there is no primary skill besides profession cook. So you're going to have to tell me how you're going to use another skill to achieve the perfect plating. And at the top of the round, it's Tulia.
All right. Tulia is an artist in her own way. As we know, she crafts delicate and amazing clothing all the time. in addition, infuses them with magic typically. Now, that's not something we're going to do, but she's going to use her knowledge of what makes beautiful thread and beadwork to make a good and pretty pattern with the freshly sauteed mushrooms and maybe some of the herbs on top of the soup.
Okay.
So I would like to use my craft clothing.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
made a good enough case for that. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, craft clothing. I do not have 5 ranks, but it is a class skill for me. So it's not the best it could be, but it is pretty good. 25.
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
It's a D8 plus your is craft intelligence.
It is.
Yeah.
I make a beautiful pattern of a rose with some parsley leaves. I only get 9 points of damage because I rolled a 1.
Okay. Next in the order is Freya. Freya, how are you gonna help plate this dish?
So for my alternate check, Freya knows that this competition is very visual. So Tulia was trying to make something very beautiful. Freya thinks more to this plane and what would well represent this plane to kind of pay respects to it. So I would like to roll a knowledge planes to reflect this plane in our dish that we are serving.
Yeah, that'll work. Also, I forgot to mention, the die does go down a step because of the secondary conditions. That D8 would have been a D6. No big deal, because you didn't roll high anyway, but just for this next
I
roll.
rolled a natty 1, so yeah.
All right, let's see where this knowledge planes goes.
21.
21's acceptable.
All right. So when Freya's taking this, she's trying to arrange parts of the soup and some of the additionals on the plate, the bread, to symbolize maybe the eternal eclipse in the sky. So she like cuts out a fun shape.
Now, is this a class skill?
Ooh, I'm glad I double checked. This is actually a class skill for me.
How many ranks do you
Less than 5 ranks.
Less than 5 ranks, so it would be a D8. It's going to be a D6 plus your intelligence.
Oh no, I rolled a 1 and my intelligence is at a +0.
Oh no.
Okay, Air Bear.
All right. I'm sure every plane has their own customs to how they would eat and how it is their food is presented. So I would like to use a knowledge local check to see how the judges, or I guess other teams that have possibly already finished, have placed their silverware at their spots, or how they are expecting to have their silverware placed at their spots.
Okay.
With the plating, I guess, do they receive their dinner in the middle course, or do they receive the sides?
Sure.
Third. 27.
All right, got it.
All right. It would have been 28, but yeah. So, knowledge local is a class skill, and I have 6 ranks.
Okay, so that would be a D12, but it's going to be a D10.
Total 6.
6. All right.
It's my turn.
Yes, it is your turn.
Okay. So Matumbe looks up to Lopsock, and he sees the precise shape of Lopsock's mouth. And he looks at the silverware, looks to see what he got. We are serving a soup. We are going to need a tool that is nice and deep to catch enough soup. Not something... his mouth is a little wide. We can go a little crazy with this. And what would be the best tool to spread butter evenly over the bread if he wishes to do this? I want to use a disable device. I want to know the right tool to put in that hole.
That's so fucking dumb. All
right.
That's so fucking dumb.
I'll also have you know that I am voluntarily not picking a skill that I cannot roll a free inspiration with because I think it's funny.
It's so funny.
Uh-oh. It's going to be a 24 total.
Not quite.
Oh, damn.
Did you add the
Did you add the
25.
Okay.
Nice save. No, nice save. No, I did not.
So it would be, is it a class skill for you?
It is.
It is a class skill for
And I
you.
have more than 5 ranks.
Okay. D10. D10 plus your dex. Disable device is a dexterity skill.
Maybe I should have done an intelligence skill. This was a huge mistake. Yes, this Griffin.
Yeah.
I took 2 levels in investigator, empiricist. Disable device, keys off intelligence.
Oh boy.
That's so dumb. Alright, it's gonna be 12.
I just imagine you going through and there's like 50 spoons that are available and you pick out the perfectly shaped one.
all of that after he precisely measured the width of his mouth.
Running these mathematical equations in my head, staring at his mouth, looking at the spoons.
Somehow you knew the exact shape of the like bridge of his mouth.
All right.
I hope he doesn't feel uncomfortable that we know the exact size of his mouth.
You think you have it plated in a way that looks appealing. You could either do some last minute touches if you want to toast the crostini or something. Or you can present the meal.
I know what Tulia wants to do, and that is not present the meal yet.
Well, do we have a skill check for this, or is this just...
Presenting the meal will be any perform.
Okay.
I have a +10 to my perform, by the way.
Can we also get the aid of our dragon friend when we present the meal?
You can.
Nice.
Okay. But I don't think that we're ready to present yet. I think there's still something else we can do. Tulia knows Lapsa so well. She knows there's no way that he wants to down a creamy soup like this without a nice alcoholic beverage.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, great call. Great call.
So she is going to pick up some ingredients to make a craft cocktail based on what she knows he likes. So I'm looking for Knowledge Plains would be him, right?
Yep.
Okay. 25 exactly.
Go ahead and roll.
And this is one that I have 5 ranks in, and it's a class skill, but I don't know if this would be
This is a
secondary
D10.
primary. Okay, thank you.
Yes. I don't think any of them were primary knowledge planes.
Oh, no, they weren't. That's right. Woohoo! Maximum 18.
All right, Freya.
So Freya was unsuccessful in finding herbs that she could add to the meal, but I'm wondering if I could try a heal check again, but this time to make like a peppermint tea, something that'll be very calming for after the meal. So to like kind of finish off with a nice mellow note so he's not too uncomfortably full after eating all of the delicious food we've created.
Yeah, give me a heal.
Freya goes to boil the water for the tea, and she doesn't watch it closely enough as she runs to try to find some herbs to throw in it, and it just completely boils over. You would think it's impossible to burn a pot of water, but she does. I rolled a natural 1.
Oh,
Classic.
no.
There's.
Classic move. Bear.
Every meal needs just a little bit of salt and pepper.
Walt Disney would not hire you.
A little bit. I'd like to use a sleight of hand to
To do just the right amount.
just
dash?
the right amount, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll allow that for sure.
I don't think this does it with a 23.
23 does not do it. But you don't fail so horribly that you add too much. What about the tombs?
I'm again not going to play to one of my strengths because I'm really caught up in the narrative here. So Mitsumbe, while he sees a couple of his friends just kind of fumbling with what they're trying to do, he's going to try and distract a little bit. Now I'm just going to start orating to Lapsak. Lapsak, Damon, King of Abaddon, what we have for you, the runner of this beautiful tournament, is a wonderfully plated mushroom soup. You will see that we have the perfect spoon to fit in your mouth. You will see we have the crustiest bread to dip in it. We have a fine craft cocktail to accompany the wonderful, wonderful meal for you. He's just trying to burn time. This is a diplomacy check.
Okay.
Okay. Might not be high enough. 24. That is with the +1.
24 for diplomacy is high enough.
Oh, thank God. All right. Also, I don't have more than 5 ranks, or 5 or more ranks in it, so it's going to be a D6.
Yeah. D6 plus your charisma bod. I guess unless you're like keying off of intelligence like everything else.
I'm not gathering intelligence, so no. I mean, was this a dumb decision? Yeah, but it's thematic, so sue me. 3 points of damage.
I don't know, was it dumb? Put you at a nice even number.
Well, that's nice.
And so now you have a decision to make. It is the 9th round. You know that you're going to have to do some kind of perform to bring this meal out. You could risk it and hope that you can get through all of the HP of the perform step next round, or you could start that process now, but I won't allow any side actions once you've started.
So if we don't have any sort of perform, is there any way that we could aid with other check?
I have form.
You can aid with other checks, you can make a case for another check.
I think it's similar to everything else, where if you don't have it, you got to make a case.
Yep, it's just this time the only primary is perform. Julia.
I mean, I think it is time to perform at this point for and pass it over. I totally am in for that. Okay, so I would like to turn to our dragon friend. Now I want to work out this plan. So there's 2 different options I think that we can have. Either way, I think that him transforming into a dragon while I cast ball of lightning that floats around his scales, and then the lights flash off of his scales as someone else more elegantly displays the dish in front of Lopsock, and Tulia would talk about, or she would do her perform with that. That is an option. Another cool option is Air Bear and Tulia could tag team. We could throw the toast up into the air and use a little bit of like fireball on the edge to just toast the bread as we put it down as part of the performance. I'm trying to do extra cool performance.
Okay.
Just to aid in those.
Yeah, it's up to you.
What are people's thoughts here?
Do it, yeah.
But which one?
So with Freya, I have Burst of Radiance prepared. So I was thinking of when we're like presenting the dish, not to have the Burst of Radiance on the food, because that would make him very mad. But like back behind us, so there's like a bright light explosion as like the lid gets removed.
Of course.
Amazing.
So I think that could go well with some of what you're planning with Tulia.
Okay, I think that matches.
These evil outsiders love Burst of Radiance.
That's why it's far enough back. It doesn't hit anyone.
The stage crew is
It's like, fuck!
Man, I wish I could do both, but well, maybe I can. I mean, it is 10 minutes if I could aid Air Bear, but then I would have to take my turn. But either way, I think it would be cool combining the like light thing. If we have this guy, I mean, he sings, right? So let's have our dragon in person form. I want to know if he'll start singing, and as he's singing, turn into the dragon and I cast lightning bolt to kind of shine around him as someone serves the food.
Okay.
I won't touch the lightning bolt to him. Obviously.
All right. I will give him a perform. Your lightning bolt will aid him.
Or ball lightning. Sorry, ball
Yep.
lightning.
Then you can do your own perform.
Okay.
All right. He got a natural 17, so he's good on the perform.
15, 25.
All right. So.
And I will, because my perform is oratory, I will tell the harrowing tale of how we became friends with this dragon.
Sure. Yeah, 25 will do it.
Do I do damage or something?
Yes. Is perform a class skill?
No.
Okay, then it.
But I have
you
9 ranks.
Yeah, so it's a D8 plus your charisma.
Okay. So my charisma is a +1. So this. Oh, but I rolled a 5, so 6.
All right, it's gonna be down to the wire here. Freya, you're using that burst of radiance.
Yes. So she uses the burst of radiance timed as the dish is being presented and kind of revealed to really add to the drama of the reveal of the dish.
Okay. So that'll aid, I guess, whoever's revealing it.
Which I think at this point, I don't know, it has to be probably one of the 2 boys if I'm doing spells and stuff, right?
Probably.
So here's the thing. I was just thinking about this. I still think that Air Bear could throw the bread onto the plate when we lift the dome. Anyways.
Yeah, what would be a good check to reveal?
That could also be a sleight of hand to do it like
yeah, that would
Let's
actually help
do
you
that.
hand
Yeah.
better, yeah.
Let's do that.
I think there are a couple of things. Well, at least that I was thinking of a way that I could contribute diplomacy, which I, granted, don't have a ton of ranks in, but somebody's got to explain our dish to the judge. So possibly that.
Well, I kind of
Well,
did that last time.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've
Oh,
already.
okay.
I failed to mention you've already damaged the this stage with your diplomacy.
Oh, cool.
I think you should be the one to reveal the dish. Potentially bonus points, use your weird hand to lift it.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, like he holds it out like he's holding it with both hands, but then the other hand lifts it.
Yeah! Yeah!
Creepy.
But how could that actually work if the hand's not connected to anything? How can it lift anything?
I don't know, man. It's magic.
It can.
It's magic
It can.
That's wild.
Freya times that burst of radiance as like it's getting lifted up to aid.
Yep. So you aid Air Bear. Let's get that sleight of hand check.
All right. Yeah. I haven't put the hand back on yet, so it's still kind of just in the arm sleeve
No. Here's the thing.
pocket.
The hand crawls up your back, on your head, jumps down, hits the top of the dome, and then lifts up the dome as you're carrying it in the other hand. Very dramatic.
Works for me. Give me a roll.
Absolutely.
Sorry, this is all very Adam Stanley hand, and I'm loving it.
Again, not so many ranks in sleight of hand here. 21, 22 with the crowd.
And that was with the +2 from Freya?
Again, 23 didn't make it last time.
Well, your
but
hand's
good.
aiding you.
Ooh.
So, in that case, it would go up to a 25.
Yep. Give me the roll.
Yeah.
Yay! This is one of the wackiest episodes, and I love it.
I'm gonna go one higher. This might be the wackiest episode, but I'm having a blast.
I've had so much fun.
I believe it's a D6.
What?
It is not a class
It's
skill.
not a class skill, and you don't have the ranks. You don't have 5 ranks.
I do not.
Then it is a D4 plus Dex, though.
Total 6 or total 8.
All right.
That's not bad
Go.
at all.
There you go.
Okay. Bring it home, Matumbe.
And that's exactly what I want to do with this check. So,
Oh, God.
Matumbe is not going to do anything flashy this round. What he's going to do is kind of guide the actions of the others. He's going to be reading the face of Lopsock. So, when the light flashes, does he wince a little bit? When the hand reaches up, does he get a little creeped out? When it reveals, is he excited? And when he's excited, what does he look at on the plate? What do we need to draw his attention to? What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? I want to sense his motive. Figure out what he's thinking.
All right.
And that way I can better help my friends in their checks.
I also love the picture that this is a 10-minute plating. Or,
Yeah, that is psychotic.
With all of the ridiculous things that have been happening. Better be 10 minutes long.
fucking dragon showed up.
Yeah.
Okay. With the +1 from the crowd, it's going to be a 23 on the sense motive.
Sensing the motive of a
Might be difficult.
very high level daemon is not easy. And so you do not get to roll.
No idea what's going on. I'm sorry, guys.
Fortunately, Air Bear had depleted the HP of the final challenge with his roll.
Woo!
And with Matumbe's prior diplomacy, you had reached 100 additional points.
Woohoo!
And so with the final plating, Lopsock doesn't actually eat the meal himself right away. It seems we have our first contestants ready to go. Lo and behold, it is my favored few. I would like to welcome to the stage our esteemed judge, who will be an impartial judge of all of the food we have prepared. And then, if it is deemed suitable, I will happily dig in. Please welcome to the stage, Ramsey the Gorgon. And a Gorgon walks upon the stage. You don't have to avert your eyes because his snake-like hair is slicked back and not looking your direction. He looks quizzically at your plate. Presumably a cream of mushroom soup is not a common entrant into this contest. Well, we'll have to see about this. He takes a bit of just a crumble of the crostini, dips it in a way as to not disturb the very well decorated cream of mushroom soup. Takes a bite. Excellent. Excellent work. This is marvelous. I never thought I would enjoy something like this. And he passes the plate to Lopsock, and Lopsock digs in and seems thrilled. You see some of the other contestants come up and present their plates, everything from broken up bones and marrow to chicken wings to boulette bites. And, the Gorgon Ramsey eats like the boulette bites fucking raw. He's not heaping the praise on a lot of the other teams. With the 100 additional points, your team is proclaimed the first place team.
Oh my goodness!
Go.
The winners of Cold Iron Chef.
Woo!
And you
Yay!
you get a cool cold iron sword.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. That's good.
And you were poured drinks to celebrate your victory, and so I need you guys to finish your drinks because we'll see you next
Yes.
week.
Absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I was
knew it.
so worried that Gorgon Ramsay was going to use the spoon for Lopsa.
Ah, it'd be terrible.
Hideous Laughter Productions is an officially licensed partner of Paizo Incorporated. Carrying Crown is copyright 2011. Carrying Crown and the Pathfinder Adventure Path are trademarks of Paizo. Paizo, Pathfinder, their respective logos, and all Paizo titles, characters, and artwork are properties of Paizo Inc. and used with permission.